What's up, my geometry cats? Today we will be looking at 7.2 special right triangles. Alright, these are going to be some special right triangles, some stuff to memorize, some notes to take, good times to be had. Alright, first triangle I want to look at today is the 45-45-90 triangle. It can also be called the isosceles right, because it has two congruent sides. And if you have two congruent sides, you are an isosceles triangle. So when we look at this beast, each of these sides are congruent. These are your legs. We're going to call them X, or we're going to call them, well, we'll call them X right now. So these are both congruent, and then this side is going to be x times the square root of 2, your hypotenuse. Your longest side is x square root 2. Why square root 2? Well, there's two congruent sides. I kid, but that will help. Okay, the legs are always congruent. The hypotenuse, your longest side, your side opposite that 90, is a leg times square root 2. So this is a way that we can find sides really quickly. And a lot of triangles on standardized tests are going to be one of these special triangles. Alright, so let's take a look down here at number 1. We have a 45-45, because if that's 90, you could do some math. You're going to start to realize though right away that this is a 45-45 right triangle. Now, I know there's X's and Y's, and that can really throw people off. I tend to ignore these, and I kind of think about it like I have my X, and then my X root 2, right? And then when I'm done filling out all my sides, I can go back and see which one's what variable. So right here, I have my X is 8, so my leg is 8. If this is 8, it means this leg is also 8. These are both 8. And now this one, I do 8, because that's what x is, times square root 2. And now I'm going to go back and say, well, that was my x was 8. And my y was 8 root 2. Easy peasy. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Again, I know these are x's and y's, but I'm going to put x root 2, x, right? These are my two legs, my two congruent sides. So if this is 25, this is 25, and this side would be 25 times the square root 2. So x is 25 root 2. And y is 25. Not so bad, eh? Not so scary. Let's get scary, though. Alright. Alright, when we look at number 3, I'm going to do my ratio. X root 2. Now for this one, I'm not just given one of my shorter sides. I'm not just given something I can plug into an equation and get the correct answer. I actually have to do some critical thinking. Everyone's scary words. So what I'm going to do is this 19 equals my leg times square root 2. So I'm going to have to solve. It would help if I knew what I was doing. I kid. So I'm going to have to solve for that x, for that side. So I'm going to do 19 equals x root 2. How did I get rid of that square root 2? Well, I divide both sides by square root 2. So I'm left with 19 over square root 2. Now, you're not allowed, we did the worksheet yesterday on this, hopefully. You're not allowed to leave it that way. You have to times your top and bottom by square root 2. So 19 times square root 2 is 19 root 2. Square root 2 times square root 2 is just 2. Okay? That's all there is to it. Now this is going to be equal to x, right? And each of these sides are x. So each of these sides are 19 root 2 over 2. So both my x and my y. I wrote that terribly. Alright, we'll do some more of these. Don't worry if it's confuzzling. Alright, let's take a look at the 30, 60, 90 special right triangles. Now in this one, my shortest side is x. My middle side is x root 3. Baby bear, mama bear, papa bear. And my hypotenuse, my longest side, is 2x. So it's x, x root 3, 2x. Okay, the shortest side is always just x. The longest side is 2x. And because there's 3 different sides, the middle side is x root 3. Alright, so let's see what happens because of that on number 4. So again, I'm going to label my x, my short side, my long side is 2x, my middle side is x root 2. Or 3, I'm sorry. Again, I'm just ignoring these for right now. I'm going to go back to them later. So if my shortest side is 5, then I plug in 5 for x on each of these. So I do 2 times 5, which is 10. My longest side, my y, is 10. Take my 5, I plug in for x. So I do 5 root 3. My middlest side is 5 root 3. That's it. Alright, let's take a look at number 6. Again, I'm going to ignore these for now and go back to them later. My shortest side is x. My longest side is 2x. My middlest side is x root 3. So now since they gave me the longest side is double the smallest side. So if I take the longest side and cut in half, I get the smallest side. If you don't see that, I gotta set up the equation like I did earlier and solve. So I do 32 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2 and I get x is 16. If x is 16, then my shortest side is 16. Which actually for this one was x. So that works out well. And then to find my middlest side, I plug in 16 for x. So I use 16 root 3. And that's why. Alright, we'll do some more complicated ones in class when we get back together. Hope you learned something new. Hope you enjoyed.